Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Notes. That's a series in which you and we sit together here at the clavichord and we take a look or a listen on a piece of music. We dive into the notes, beyond the notes, behind the notes, so to say. Why does music affect us emotionally so much? Music is an abstract language. It doesn't speak words, it doesn't speak to the brain, it speaks to the soul. And that's what it should do. But why is that? And we're not going to solve all the mysteries here. There is no way that we can do that. But by sharing the way I see this music, in this case the F minor fugue, which is a following up piece of the prelude we discussed last time, but just sharing a few elements here and there, from your reactions, I can tell that this kind of inspires you, and that's all we need in this world, to have a little bit of exchange of thoughts and inspire each other. And by the way, before we start, I want to thank all of you for your feedback. Last time I changed the format, explained that in the last video, to economize, so to say, the upload process to make this video. So I removed the overlay with the score with all the colored pencils, and I was a little bit afraid that you wouldn't respond too well to it, because I take away a little bit of your, the ease of viewing. Now you have to take a score from the shelf, you download it, whatever, to follow along with me. But you responded overwhelmingly positive, not only in the comment boxes, but many of you reached out to me through email. You actually prefer the raw, unedited videos, no score overlay, nothing. Just give us the authentic A-roll, but it's a video that's now rolling. So, and I'm happy to do that. So we're going to do that in the future, and we see where this brings us. And secondly, I want to also address one thing. One of you asked, appreciate this Bach, you're preparing Bach so much, but I really would like also you to talk about some other music. And there's a pile of music here. I really tried, so I'm preparing that with some Mozart. That's an upcoming project for next year. Some Beethoven, perhaps. I was even playing the Fifth Symphony on my clavichord. You could say, why not on the fortepiano? Has to do with touch when you prepare the clavichord so in depth as I'm doing right now. I'm not saying it's totally incompatible, but it's hard to explain. Maybe I'll make another video about the differences in touch and all these things. But I was even playing the Fifth Symphony on this instrument, and it sounds actually great. But it's another concept. I just wanted to say I'm working on it. We will dive into some later music, maybe also CPE, Bach, Mozart, Haydn, Beethoven. It's all possible, but it is a different format. With Bach, in Dutch you would say you have a lot of meat in your hands, A lot of things are happening, and that makes it also a little bit easier, maybe not always, but different to talk about that. So I'll have to figure out the formats for the other styles of music, and then we definitely will sit together at the clavichord again with some other type of music. For now it's Bach and F minor fugue, which is, I was about to say, one of the most remarkable pieces you've ever heard, but I immediately thought, I'm saying this every time, right? That what we are about to hear is remarkable, is unbelievable, but it is like that. And this F minor fugue, it adds to the prelude so much. These two pieces really feel as one unity. We talked about in the prelude also how in the more elaborate version, which this well-tempered Clavier number 1 is, compared to the prelude that Bach wrote for Willem Friedemann Bach, that he already kind of gave a hint of the fugue themes. It's not like in a Beethovenian way where we have clear concepts of motives that are recurring, but still, yet you have it's kind of similar feeling here that Bach prepares for the fugue, that he had the fugue in mind when he finished the prelude. And the theme of this fugue is actually enough for one episode, but don't worry, we will go through the entire piece because some elements here are unbelievable. There you have it again. This fugue, however, also is maybe for many of you that are, not directly attracted or captivated by Bach's music, maybe the F minor fugue is one of the more complex pieces, and we're going to talk about that because it's not necessary to be afraid of the complexity of this piece. Yes, it is complex, but Bach uses so little material that it is almost unbelievable how, as a listener, you tend to forget that you're listening to only a few motifs, because that it is. And with this very strange theme that I'm about to demonstrate and play, it's actually, again, unbelievable. It shows the mastery, it shows the way that Bach mastered this concept of polyphony in combination with harmony, how he saw the vertical and the horizontal lines immediately. C.P.E. Bach, his second son, he wrote a book about keyboard playing, De Versuch über die wahre Art das Klavier zu spielen, and he says Bach was actually a master. I don't know if he wrote it in the book or in the, how do you say that in English, obituary, so the little piece that he wrote after Bach had his father's decease, death actually, that his father was able with just one melody, one theme, to see immediately all the possibilities, and this fugue is a great example of that. The theme is experimental. Shall we keep it on that? I'll just play it for you. It's an unbelievable melody. For that time, of course, remember Bach closed the WTC 1 as a collection of pieces, but he brought them together, he finished them in 1722. People were experimenting with kind of modernities, this is not conservative music. In a sense, it is, could say polyphonic music in that time was already like a little bit, not anymore in the middle of society, maybe in the 1720s, yes, but a little bit later. But Bach kept to that concept, but he added this kind of new flavors. I mean, you start semitone, you go back. Already, this gives the color of F minor. As we said last time, F minor is described, for instance, by Mattheson like, it's not a joyful key, and you go to the B natural. F minor has a B flat, of course. So Bach changes also, it's not only a melodic input, it's also a harmonic input. So the B natural gives a lot of tension in F minor, and then he adds just a quarter note interval, which is on itself not surprisingly, but if you are here on the B natural, you want to go to the B flat, because hey, that's the key we're in, and he's going to lead us to the B flat, and then chromatically A natural as a passing note to the A flat, of course, but the A natural has a function there. It opens something here. So, in a way, this fugue theme sets the mood for the entire piece. It has these few aspects, these few moments. which is, you could, it's of course it doesn't lead us to C major, but and then the question is, we have 4 voices. That means that, let's say, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, like in this, like almost like that. And everybody comes with a theme. The question is, what's Bach gonna do with the other voices? Well, he adds something, of course, a counter theme, and in this fugue, that theme, the second theme, the counter theme, that you will hear when the second voice enters, you will hear that throughout the entire piece. And it's not only that, but for now, that's it. So Bach is going to fill these long notes with 16th notes, but not everywhere. And by the way, the tempo you choose for this piece is, if you ask me like, why do you play in an 8/8? Because I'm playing in 8th note beats, like tom, has to do with the harmonic structure. But if you would ask me like, are you 100% sure that you shouldn't play this fugue faster? No, I'm not. I think you have no metronome marks here, no pendulum indications. So what was Bach thinking when he wrote this music? Of course, this music was not written for the big masses, you know. We all have our editions now. And in the 19th century, everybody had these editions. There was a Breitkopf edition. Still, this is a copy, by the way, the Dover edition. Perfect edition, perfect at high level, I would say. But in Bach's time, of course, this was for a very small circle. His best students could earn this music or buy this music, if you want. It was not for free. So there was no need to add anything. And the harmonic density, also the character, and the emphasis on certain second, like 8th notes as a second in the bar, like not the main accents, gives me the feeling and impression that it is at least worth trying to play this in an 8/8. And then something, when you do that in this tempo, something remarkable happens. And it's also something maybe that today, can I say it, like modern performance practice, musicians tend to be a little bit afraid when music just suddenly stands still, like I don't feel the next note. We have to always create this tension to the next note. I don't think that's necessary when you have the right I wouldn't say tempo, but the right movement. So we come here and you get in an instant what I mean. End of the first theme entrance. And the second voice, or the first voice that had its say, is continuing and preparing the second voice entrance, which is the soprano. There you go. And there we are. So instead of hiding a little bit these awkward intervals that we discussed in the theme, remember, B natural, quarter interval. No, Bach emphasizes them. And then on top of that, you have this big interval, this one big interval, like for instance here. That's a diminished quarter interval, which is definitely something related to pain. And then this big jump, why doesn't do it? They could do this, like, so like you come here. Okay, then you have to jump an octave lower because the voices are like intertwined. But that would like create a situation that gives us as listener or players much less tension. Bach wants to enhance, wants to increase, wants to bring all the tension and all this F minor feeling that it's in this piece that's present. He wants to just maximize that by this counter theme. still. But I feel it like when it's not standing still, it's like you bring this energy to a certain moment and then you go forward. And when you have this movement, this circular movement, the listener will feel that too. And you hold back a little bit on very important moments. That's really what's happening, eh? If you do that in harmony class in conservatory, 0. And rightfully so, we are not Bach. It's like, where does it go? That creates like this expectation, and therefore the music needs to hold there. Not just continue, stop. And now we come too close. During the recording, or actually right before the recording, I had to decide, am I going to play a trill here or not? And to be honest, I'm not really sure anymore what I did. Both options are totally valid. I would today, and I think I did it on the recording like this, no trill. Also to just enhance this feeling of, it's not static movement. It's like, it has some inner peace by these moments where you just hold a little bit back. And here's a trill written. Okay, so now we have this. We have the theme entrance, bizarre theme with a lot of expressive intervals. We have the second theme entrance in the right hand. And then we have the counter theme. If I play it without the initial theme, the lead, so to say, you have this. Sorry. Actually, this counter theme brings the entire main theme home. And against this bizarre theme with these bizarre intervals, it gives actually very normal counter melody that is going up. Like it's going higher and higher. Like it starts here, that's the moment of tension. You fall like Icarus, and then you go up. By the way, you will hear some fighters in the air. I cannot tell them to stop, that's like something of our time, let's say it like that. Okay, then we come to the point where the third theme entrance is, showing up. That's the lowest voice. I think so, with the bass even lower. Yeah, now we come in the bass. So the third theme entrance, and you could say, okay, what's going on? What's Bach going to do? Okay, he's going to repeat everything that we had before. Like the counter theme, you will hear about the same. There it is. It's exactly the same. Up. If I play only this voice with the theme entrance in the left hand, That's already enough, but Bach does something else. We had these moments, also now when you play it like this, where you have these moments where the music not stops, where we have this static movement, da-dee, da-dee. Bach is doing something with that. He is adding some notes there to break this a little bit. When you repeat that too much, it becomes too much. It is still there, but the third voice, I mean by that the voice that had the counter subject. When the second theme entrance is, of course, that happened, that voice continues like this. And then comes something important. This is also something you will hear throughout the entire piece. This is a very simple motive, but in the context of this piece, as you I will demonstrate it, it's super important. This is, for me, this motive. It's very moving in a way. It balances. It's a counterweight and against this very serious, I would say almost depressing theme and counter theme. And it works like that because of the harmonic input. So, and on top of that, what this third voice does, and it will come back the entire piece, therefore this fugue is complex from a point of polyphony and composition. But Bach just has no material to work with. He's working with almost nothing, and he builds the entire piece. And why can he do that? Because everything he's using it's simple in itself, but in combination with each other, it is exactly the right balance what you need. So when I now add the third voice, the theme entrance in the third voice, the counter theme and the new counter theme, you could say, then you get this. Sorry. So what happens now actually is that this bizarre theme, this very special feeling that you have with the theme is covered up. You don't feel that as intensely as in the first theme entrance, nor as in the second theme entrance. And why is that? It's because of what the third voice is doing. There is suddenly a dialogue between the two counter themes. And it's like we forget about it. The theme now, the main theme is just there. We separate a little bit from that. And that's a huge feeling, that's a huge change, that has an impact. And at the beginning you would say, here still you have this moment of static movement, I would say, but then it starts with this. It's unbelievable, I cannot explain this. And now comes the dialogue. It is not this, but it's... And then... Filling up the notes. Perfect. It's just perfect. And we're not even started. We still have a fourth entrance. It's a four voice fugue. I mean, if you already reached in bar 10, you could put a fermata setting pieces over. It's enough. We had enough. At least that's how I feel it. But let's continue. So in order to make us consume all of that, and digest all of that, Bach now gives a little bit of a bridge. He's using one of the motives, like at beginning of the counter motive, as a bridge. So we get now a kind of imitation, over a bridge to the fourth theme entrance. That will happen very soon, but you need this part in order to relax a little bit. And it's beautiful because we had this very heavy atmosphere at the beginning, and now we get a little bit, it's so much lighter. Suddenly the entire tone shifts. So I give you the end of the third theme entrance. So we continue. I don't know if you've noticed it. Remember this? This very moving third counter motive or theme, whatever you want to call it. For all of the elements, of course, there are names today. Yeah? If you're in conservatory, you learn all of that. But what I've learned, it's very important, and I don't want to downplay that. It's very important that books are written about the structure of fugues. But to me, always felt like when I was in conservatory, it didn't make the music more understandable to me to know all these terms. So just this is a bridge figure or bars where you recover as a listener or a player from all the emotions. But this motive, have you noticed it's there? Now it comes. And if I am a little bit, bass notes, we talked about that, you can repeat them as many times, even if they're tight, that's like a practice. I don't know, honestly, if you can do that with middle voices, but I think on the recording I did. I don't remember if I had the courage to do that, but it's so beautiful. This motive that I described being so emotional, you understand more what I mean after playing this motive in this structure. Here I have it. It becomes very important. So, shit, sorry. Listen. Again. Fourth theme entrance is there, but very simple modulations. We go from F major, D flat major, we go to not D flat major, we don't stay there, we go to B flat minor. So very normal, beautiful harmonic changes, very expected or not expected, but it's not something that makes you like grasp for breath, it's very, very, very relaxing. And then listen how he uses this motif, this ta-ti-tam, to build for the fourth theme entrance. And now we go. It becomes like this gigantic mountain that comes from, that just is unstoppable. All up. Again, counter theme. With the dialogue in the left hand, everything in the left hand. Motive. Da-dee-dee-dee-dum. So, with the fourth theme entrance, all the elements that we had before are used, but so organically that when you listen to the piece and you wouldn't know that, you don't even hear that. It's not like a counterpoint composition or exercise. It's really a composition organically everything comes together. And then with this, you have the D flat now in the soprano. Of course, this adds a little bit to this dramatic feeling. And at that moment, you jump in the bass. Remember the counter subject? That happens now in the bass. So here you are. Again. Unbelievable motive. The entire piece, it comes on moments where it's like you are on this journey and you don't know where you're going, and it's not something like, it's almost a dream, you know, these dreams, and you are lost, you know, but there is one little thing and you don't know what it is that gives you the trust that everything is like more or less all right. There is someone in that group or in this whatever that you trust, even though you don't know that person, or in a dream, that feeling. That's this. You see what Bach is doing now with this A natural. Unbelievable, in F minor. Who expects that? And of course you get this. And then he doesn't give the F immediately. There's still the G. Of course, on the clavichord you won't hear that anymore. Harpsichord neither. A piano also. You know, in order to make that G very powerful and go over the bar, you need to play it on an organ. Which is, by the way, spectacular. It's difficult on an organ though. Okay, there we go. And now we have again a bridge function. Same motif. Now in the opposite direction. Flat major. Back to F minor. So in this moment you have theme entrance, and there are all the stuff that we talked about is there again. To the high A flat, to initiate the theme like the chromatic line down. This is a cry. Even higher. Just to take a moment here to appreciate what Bach is doing. We talked about all these little motives, these counter themes, and how Bach is actually using that time after time. Listen, there is not so much material in this fugue, but he is using that to its maximum power. So from the start, when Bach thought about this counter, he already heard this in his mind. There is no doubt about that. So the theme goes down chromatically. Chromatic lines always illustrate a little bit of pain. It's not joyful. And in order to enhance that feeling, Bach is not compensating here, he's just enhancing the pain. He goes up, like he goes to the highest note of the instrument, which was in this time the clavichord ended on C. So it starts here. C minor. Okay, we continue. Bridge. Same motive. Not much happens, just a few modulations. Not B natural, but B minor here. But quickly go, we'd use that quickly to go to A flat major. Actually not A flat major, it's back to, it's like immediately back to F minor, but you go in transitions now. Yeah. Here you are in A flat, kind of A flat major. Big jump. And now something remarkable is going to happen. Bach is going to add, it's not adding something, but it's using the same material again in another context, a little bit of context. I hope I'm right here. So, well, let's see. So he's preparing the next theme entrance, which will happen at the bass. Here it is. Okay, again. So I just wanted to say, all the motives are there. It's only the only surprise is like which voice takes which theme or motive, and what is Bach going to do with it. And now this is just the A natural. Remember at the beginning we like F minor, yes, A natural, of course there is a chromatic line that goes to F minor and to the A flat. But you have the A natural here in a moment where you do not, and it's always unexpected, even though you know it's going to come. Bach enhances that feeling here by this first inversion of F major. And this opens your soul. Just listen to it again and just witness what happens here. This is unbelievable. And if you sometimes think like this piece is beautiful, but I don't know why, just listen to your heart. What happens there? Do you have the need to breathe more, deeper, or to sit just and do nothing? I mean, what happens if something happens like that in your body? I would say then something remarkable happens, and this is one of these places. And regardless if you know what happens, regardless if you know the harmonies, regardless if you have heard the piece before, if you open yourself for this, everybody will hear it, everybody will feel it. Therefore this music is still played after 300 years, because the effect will never disappear. As long as there are humans with a beating heart, this is going to have an effect. And also here, you are in a kind of course it's not B flat minor, but this little motive, if we talk about being efficient and effective in what you do, this adds so much to this melancholic feeling, and that makes the contrast the bigger. This makes me, places like this make me just happy, you know. That's like, those are the little things in life. I mean, this piece is not a little thing, but that we can just listen to that, enjoy that. It almost makes you a better person when you undergo, you know, these moments. I don't know, those are two big words, but you get the feeling. Let's be thankful that you have that. Great use of these motives. He's just building them. It's not on top of each other. Of course, this is what you hear, but the voice is like, that is actually what you hear. But because Bach intertwines, Bach uses all these notes like close to each other, you hear something else, and you have the impression that it's not this ongoing line. that it is something new, but it is not something new. Bach is just using it in a different way. Okay, and then this piece really continues like that. I could go on forever, because these moments it's not the last time that Bach is using this really powerful harmony, which is in itself not difficult, but the moments he's using that and the way he's using that, the timing is so perfect. For instance, I will go briefly over the rest. Here you have something beautiful where this counter theme, Bach is allowing that to go up and kind of disconnect from the lower voices. Here you have bar 35. E flat. So forgot to say you have the theme here. Eh? So the theme starts here in the second voice. So the alto voice. So this bar 34 we are now. Up. Up. Sorry. Very difficult to play here. Again, relax. And here is nothing happening, and even you could say Bach is not sticking anymore to this motive like cham ta di tam to create a bridge. Because this moment, this moment that we had, just these few bars, like were so intense that now it's like there we go again, tenor. And here we don't have these counter motives anymore. You hear how the piece changes. It's like Bach strips the piece of a lot of emotional layers here, and it's also one of those remarkable moments. But what he does is, again, like you have this more normal fugue, like, if I can say it like that. But then now. Just coming back, like it's again introducing this stuff. Why? Bridge. There you have the motive again. Also here, I mean, this is so touching, and when you play this on your own, you almost start to cry here. Eh? It's like, after all that happened, like the simplicity. Sun is shining. Listen. Beautiful on the clavier. So these harmonies coming from the bass, of course you don't play them like that. He's really doing this. Theme entrance. close to the ending of the fugue, bridge, same motive, C minor, or the dominant of F, of course. Final T interest is coming now in the bass, and now it gets serious again. And on this, unbelievable. So you would say like, no. Final, the coda, final climax. Okay, that will be it. That little coda just to recover. I mean, I don't know with you, but when you listen to this entire fugue after diving a little bit deeper behind or beyond the notes, you will hear more and more these motifs. You will recognize them more and more and more, and that enhances the experience. It explains. It doesn't explain, but it gives you a direction where to listen to and why it might work or might have this effect on you. If you want to listen to the entire piece, of course there is my CD recording. If you don't have it already, might be worth investing a little bit of money, and you support the work that we do here on the channel, so that is something that we would and I would appreciate very much. Also, I want to give a shout out to my patrons that really make all of this possible. There's a lot more content like that on my Patreon channel. You can check it out. There are some free samples there as well. I do upload my organ concerts that I play in Leuven. They're practicing session on the channel. There's also a podcast. Just uploaded the 12th podcast once a month. I do that, so that's almost a year worth of podcasts. And by the way, we will have in the near future, I'm not saying when, I don't know yet when, but we are organizing to get to a real podcast, not only with me as a voice, but with several people. We just have to bring them together and just find a way to make them commit to this project, and there will be, well, that will be just fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that. We will be talking about how to implement this authentic idea, like reconstructive idea, in today's music performance practice. I think there is a lot we can say about that, and you know, for a channel that calls itself Authentic Sound, it makes sense, right, to talk about that. That's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. We see each other very soon again. Bye.